Hey, guys. Kev?
First of all, how'd you see the fight? I mean, did you agree with the decision?
Yeah, it was, I just got asked that by ESPN, too. It's like, it was a close fight. It's close. If they just said Munoz, I wouldn't have said, oh, my God, that's crazy either. Either one of those guys could have won that fight.
Do you think this proves Edgar still has a run as an elite fighter? I mean, it was obviously he was struggling in the other division. He gets down here. He looked like he belonged there and was really good.
Of course, yeah. I mean, what's funny is Joe Silva texted me tonight and said, remember when Frankie would get pissed at us when we would tell him to move down from 155? And here he is tonight. But, yeah, he just fought the number 5 guy in the world. And, he won.
Is this something like years ago it was, not as hard to do fighting up, but like right now in this era when you're talking about how many great fighters are in all these weight classes that it becomes that much harder and given the competition is that much close that you couldn't do now what he did then?
100%. I mean, as you look back on a lot of things that happened in the early days, you couldn't do now that you did then. On any given night in this sport, man, there's some tough people out there. Look at Dobson tonight. You know what I mean? She was like a minus 1,500 or something like that, and she came out and fought her ass off and won and looked good doing it. So you never know.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you, obviously Frankie Edgar has proven his toughness over the years, time and time again. But I mean, he was getting that leg chopped up, and it was almost like he ignored it, even though as much as it was getting beaten up.
He ignored it till the 5th. He got hurt in the 5th. He actually won't be here. He got transported. So I'm sure his leg is really busted up. Yeah, he ate a lot of leg kicks tonight.
In terms of performance, do you think he looked like better at bantamweight than he had done at featherweight?
I mean, listen, the guy's going to be 38 years old in like October or November. To say that he looked better, at 155, 145 or whatever. I mean, the career that the guy has been unbelievable. And the fact that he's still performing the way that he's performing at his age and the wars that he's been through and all the things, that he's accomplished. Yeah, I'd say he looked pretty damn good tonight.
It was a great card as well. We had some crazy comebacks. In fact, in the opening fight, we had Trevin Jones survive the first round beating and come back in the second.
Dobson, Jones won the performance of the night, and the fight of the night was Munoz versus Edgar.
Yeah.
They all won 50,000. So.
What do you think it says about Dodson that she can come in as this huge underdog and still mentally just go, no, that's fine? And
I love that shit. I mean, that's incredible. And I was telling Kevin earlier when that fight was being made, and the fights, she had a record of 3-4, and we have a girl at 9-1, and I'm like, come on, guys. And credit to Mick Maynard, man. Mick said that he actually liked Dobson in that fight. He said she's got way more UFC experience. And trust me, this will be a very, very close fight. Mick Maynard said that, and he was right. I said, man, don't make us look like fucking top rank. And he didn't.
A few things outside of tonight. I don't think you've been asked this yet. What was behind the decision to let Corey Anderson go to Bellator or to be released from his contract?
Yeah. First of all, it's the right move for him. This isn't something that we've never done before. And I think that he feels, and we feel, that he can be more competitive there.
Did you see Scott Coker's comments that Bellator now has the best light heavyweight division in MMA, and would you agree?
I didn't. Isn't he cute?
And lastly, a couple of things more for me. Recently, Tony Ferguson has been on social media sort of hinting that he's got a fight. Have you guys got a fight lined up for Tony?
We do.
Can I make a guess who it is?
Huh?
Can I guess who it is?
Sure.
Dustin Poirier?
Probably.
Okay. And then finally, last one. I'm a good friend of yours, Oscar De La Hoya, has announced he's coming out of retirement to box again. I just wondered if you had any...
Cocaine isn't cheap. It's expensive. Got to make money.
Thanks, Dana.
Yep.
Dana, looking at Pedro, what do you do with him after this? I mean, granted, it's Frankie. He's a legend. He came over. This loss, does it move Pedro down, or does he still kind of stay where he is at in the division?
What's the question?
So you got Frankie come in, and Pedro took a loss, but he took a loss against a legend. I mean, this can't knock him far down in the rankings, right?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting because Frankie comes in unranked. You know where Frankie's going to go. It'll be interesting to see where Pedro goes. I'm trying to think of something that just blew my mind in the rankings recently. Somebody just fought, and it was a really close fight, and it was tight. Fuck, I wish somebody was here that could remind me. Who? Who? No. I don't think so. But we got back in, and on Tuesday when it was up, I was like, how the fuck is that possible that this guy or this girl, whoever it was, would drop this far in the rankings when the fight, I can't remember what it was, but the answer to your question is who knows what these guys will do, you know what I mean, and with the rankings. We'll see.
And you mentioned Dobson. She was coming in. It's been some time since she's had these losses accumulate, but she did come in with 3 losses. But you did say she had a great performance. Is it a matter of the last impression is where these fighters stand? I mean, did she kind of erase those losses, and is she back, I guess, in the good graces of how she's performing? Yeah,
tonight was a do or die for her, you know what I mean? Like I told him, I said, Mick felt like he liked Dobson in that fight when he did it. You know, when you have a girl that's coming in from outside the UFC, and that was only, I think, her second UFC fight, and this other girl's had like 6 UFC fights. It's a lot different.
And last one for me, can you explain the timeline of what happened with OSP and why that fight was decided to get called off when it was?
Yeah, the doctor called it off.
But it was due to the COVID test? Or
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
When did that test happen? Because we saw him at the weigh-ins, and I guess we assumed that he was
I
good.
have no clue. Yeah, I have no clue.
Okay.
You'd have to ask them that, not me.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
Dana, right here. Jim Grieshaber, cage side seat. Can you just talk about what's next for Frankie? He said that, Pedro's top 5, and he's looking at a title shot, and he's 38. So how soon do you see that possibly happening for him? And that it's a pretty stacked division.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously there's some things that have to play out, and there's people ahead of him. He put on a good showing tonight and put himself in a good position, but there's he's got some work to do there.
Maybe a couple more fights.
Yeah, 2 or 1, I don't know. We'll see. It depends on who he fights next.
Yeah, he looked quick out there, looked good. And I want to ask you about Mike Rodriguez. He gets bumped up to co-main, really took advantage of that opportunity, looked great in there.
Yeah, he came in and blew the doors off the place tonight. He looked good, man. Big dude, great fight.
Fighters stepping up and getting those opportunities and bumping up, moving up cards, being on TV, and guys staying. You had a couple guys tonight. One had a 22-week camp. Another guy that was in camp for 14, 15 weeks, just staying ready. He was going to be on the Contender Series, and he fights tonight. I mean, can you just talk about fighters in this unusual world, just staying ready and being there when the call comes?
Yeah, no, this was probably, he was just asking about OSP. This has probably been the craziest week we've had since this whole thing started. And it wasn't just, I mean, I have to commend the production team tonight, too. We lost like 7 production people, too. It's been a crazy week for us. And everybody delivered, and these fighters keep stepping up. The production team stepped up tonight. These are crazy times.
Crazy is always the norm in the fight game, but this is just nuts, right? I mean,
it's insanity. And the matchmakers. The matchmakers are making fights like the day of the weigh-ins. Crazy.
Thank you, Dana. Appreciate it.
Hey, Dana. Now that we just saw Pedro Munoz and Frankie Edgar, is it safe to say that Aljamain Sterling is next in line for the title shot against Peter Yan?
Yeah.
Daniel Rodriguez, 3rd fight in 2020. He came up in the Albuquerque fight card, impressive victories. What's next for a guy like him? He's not young. He's 33 years old. He's been very impressive. What would you like to see him do next?
Yeah, he looked damn good. I don't know. We'll have to get in there on Tuesday and figure out, I don't know, what the next step is for him, how soon he wants to fight. And it's crazy. We have all these young guys that want to turn around quick, and everybody wants to keep fighting. So I don't know if he's one of those guys, but we'll see.
Thank you.
Well, I wasn't going to bring this up, but somebody else already did. I remember back in the day, you guys used to do cross-promotional stuff. Of course, with Pride, you acquired them and everything like that, right? But I've talked to Scott Coker in the past, and he's really game about doing cross-promotional fights. Would you ever do that with an organization that you guys don't own?
With who?
With Bellator.
With who?
Well, we
What
talked about
guys?
Bader.
Guys, everybody they have in their light heavyweight division, we let go of. He's got the best light heavyweight division. We let those guys all go. It's like the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard. But I get it. He's got to try to fucking do his thing. You know what I mean? I'm not shitting on him. He's got to try to do his thing. He's got to try to sell fights. And, you know, the way you don't sell fights is like, oh, I got the best light heavyweight division in the world. I mean, everybody that was there was let go from here. It's a pretty silly statement.
Well, Juan Archuleta is a pretty good name.
What?
Juan Archuleta?
Uh-huh.
He's a pretty good name. There's
Okay.
a lot of them. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but okay, I got your.
So what super fight would I make with Bellator?
I don't know. I guess none. Now that
Yeah.
you give me that answer. So John Jones has been trying to engage you on social media for several weeks. I see you haven't really, taken the bait and beefed with him. He dropped a bombshell on us. Did he do that straight over social media? Did he let you guys know that he was gonna vacate the title?
Yeah, no, we've been talking to him through the whole thing. We've been talking to him, yeah.
So what? Where do we go with John Jones from here? I mean, it sounds like heavyweight's inevitable at this point.
Yeah, when he's ready to fight, he'll let us know.
Cool. I noticed on a lot of the fights that are coming up for the rest of the year, the location is still TBD. Are we going to see a return to Fight Island, or is everything going to finish out here at the Apex?
Yeah, no, we'll go back to Fight Island. Yeah, we'll have some announcements soon. We're just getting everything dialed in.
Okay, great, thanks. And last thing for me is, can everybody just get a bonus tonight? I mean, this card was amazing.
Yes. The answer to that is yes. So the bonuses went to Dobson, Jones, Munoz, and Edgar, but yeah, I'm going to write a bunch of checks next week, 100%. Yep.
Over here. Dana, ESPN reported yesterday that Amanda is defending against Megan in 145. Is that true?
Yes.
What do you think it would happen, or what do you want to happen with the 135 belt? Is it going to be an interim, or you want her to defend until next year, middle next year?
With what, 135?
Yeah,
No, she'll defend it. She can defend both belts. She's got plenty of time to do that. Yeah.
It's going to be about 15, 16 months. Is it going to be a chance for an interim belt with
No.
the girls?
No.
Dana, just quickly, have you had any conversations with Michael Chandler's people at all?
I haven't personally, no.
Do you know if anybody here has?
I don't. I told you that we're interested in talking to him. He knows that. I don't know what his contract, what the deal is with his contract. So when his contract is up and when everything is legal to talk to him, and I'm sure we'll be talking to him.
Dana, you said months ago that you would build the division for Amanda 145. When we are going to be able to see the rankings and more girls fighting 145?
When can we see rankings? Yeah. So we literally talked about that last week in matchmaking meeting, and that's all in the works right now. We're working on that. Mix all over that.
Another question. Charles Oliveira, is he going to fight Beneil Dariush?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head.
He was complaining that there's no top 5 or top 10 that is going to say yes to fight him. Is it true? Top 10 fighters are avoiding to fight Charles Oliveira?
I don't know that either. I don't know that.
Last question. So you were talking about Bellator with him, and what do you think about Patricio Freire? Patricio Pitbull is a Brazilian fighter. He has 2 belts in Bellator.
What do I think about what?
Patricio Freire, Patricio Pitbull.
Oh, Pitbull?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about him as a fighter?
I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know. Yeah. And sorry, I have trouble hearing. And if you're on my left side and you have even the slightest accent, I have trouble hearing. We good? Thank you, guys.